So there was some sad news recently in the entertainment world. The passing of character actor Ed Gale. He was 61.
Yeah, Ed Gale. You might not know the name instantly, but you definitely know the roles, or maybe the face.
Exactly. Some really memorable, kind of unique characters, especially in, genre stuff.
Absolutely woven into pop culture.
And today, well, we wanted to take a closer look. We've got this stack of sources you shared with us, news reports about his passing, his career, and also something quite different.
Right. There's a very personal tribute from his niece, Casey Gale. Very heartfelt, funny in places, too. It gives a totally different perspective.
So the idea here for this DRM News Global podcast segment is to, well, navigate through all this information together, see what these different sources tell us about who he was, his work, and, well, the whole picture.
Exactly. We want to understand him from these different angles. The actor the public saw, the person his family knew, based purely on what's in these sources we have right here.
Okay, let's jump in. So what do the sources say about his beginnings? He grew up in Michigan.
Yeah, Plainwell, Michigan. Born with dwarfism.
Mhm.
And the sources mention he made a really bold move pretty early on.
Oh, yeah.
His niece actually shared this detail. Said he hitched a ride out to California when he was just 20. Had like $41 in his pocket.
Wow, 41 bucks.
Yep. And a dream, apparently. She said he never looked back. I mean, that tells you something about his drive right there, doesn't it?
It really does, that kind of determination. And it seems like it paid off relatively quickly. His first big role wasn't long after.
No, 1986.
Oh.
Well, a very distinctive one. He was the title character in Howard the Duck.
The Howard the Duck, inside the suit.
Inside the suit. One source quotes him from an interview confirming it. He said, "Yes, I was in the suit every day for nearly 10 months. He was the only actor physically playing Howard."
So Chip Zien did the voice, but Gale was the physical presence. That's incredible. 10 months in that suit.
Exactly. That was Howard on screen.
And then just a couple of years later, another role that, well, it became totally iconic, especially if you're into horror. Chucky, from the original Child's Play in '88.
Directed by Tom Holland, yeah.
Yeah.
And the sources show he didn't just do it once. He came back as Chucky.
For the sequels.
He was the physical performer again in Child's Play 2 in 1990, and then again in Bride of Chucky in 98. His movements, that was the doll.
So Howard the Duck and Chucky, those are two pretty huge, memorable roles right there. But the sources, they make it really clear his career was way bigger than just those two.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, far, far bigger. The lists in these sources, they show over 130 credits, movies, TV shows, commercials.
130. That's prolific.
It really is. It highlights what being a character actor often means, right? Consistent work across decades. And the film credits mentioned, let's see, Spaceballs, Disney's The Jungle Book, Tiptoes, Little Rascals.
Some classics in there.
Unstrung Heroes, The Coen Brothers, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, even Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It's quite a range.
And TV, too.
Yep, the sources list TV work as well. He was Tasha the Dinosaur in the 90s kids show, Land of the Lost.
Okay, that's definitely a contrast to Chucky.
Right. And he popped up in lots of other places, too, like Weird Science, Family Matters, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, My Name is Earl, Baywatch, Third Rock from the Sun, just consistently working.
It sounds like it. And the sources also mentioned something about fan conventions.
Yeah, his niece specifically brought that up in her tribute, said he absolutely loved going to cons.
Really?
Yeah, she said he'd often brag about the serious street cred he felt he got there.
That makes sense, though. With roles like Howard and Chucky, those have huge cult followings. Fans would absolutely connect with him.
For sure. And speaking of his niece, Casey Gale, her tribute, it really adds such a different dimension to everything else we're seeing in the news reports, doesn't it?
It really, really does. She confirmed his passing on Facebook, but it wasn't just an announcement. It was so personal, full of these little details, warm, funny, humanizing.
She described his death as sudden, mentioned he passed away in hospice care in Los Angeles.
And her writing style. She managed to find humor even in announcing it.
Yeah, that line was quite something. She wrote, "It is with a heavy heart and a surprisingly light coffin," see what I did there, "that we announce the sudden passing of our uncle. Ed Gale has taken his final bow and is now headlining in the afterlife."
Wow. To write that, it suggests a certain kind of relationship, maybe a certain kind of person he was.
It definitely seems that way. She really stressed his role within the family, too. Said his favorite role wasn't on screen, it was being the fun uncle.
The fun uncle.
And that his His love language was basically sharing his passion for Hollywood and the entertainment world with his nieces.
That paints such a lovely picture. Someone excited about his work and wanting to share that magic. It wasn't just a job.
Exactly. And the tiny specific things she mentioned, they really make him feel like a real person, not just the guy in the suit or the doll,
Like the hot dogs.
the 7-Eleven hot dogs
Yeah,
with disgusting amounts of ketchup. That's such a specific, vivid image.
it really is. Or him reminiscing about DJing.
Yeah, his glory days DJing at the Plainwell roller rink.
Yeah.
Just picture it.
And the random Bill Maher dislike.
For no good reason. And apparently, he loved cheating at cribbage.
Okay, these details, they just add so much texture. It feels like you get a glimpse of the actual guy.
Totally. These personal anecdotes from someone who knew him well, they give you this much richer, more human sense of him. Her tribute ended really affectionately, too, even with the humor. He had one hell of a laugh, and he will be missed. Rest in love, you cranky bastard.
You can feel the love in that, absolutely. So we have this image from his career and this really warm personal picture from his niece. But then when we look at the whole set of sources you provided, there's another piece.
Yes. And this is where it gets, well, complicated.
Yeah.
And serious. While we have that tribute, some of the news reports, specifically ones citing the LA Times within the source material, they contain information about a very serious investigation.
Right. This is important to handle carefully. What do those specific sources report?
According to those reports, back in 2023, Ed Gale was reportedly under investigation by the Los Angeles Police Department.
An LAPD investigation.
Yes. This apparently came after he allegedly admitted something to a group called the Creep Catchers Unit.
Okay, and what is that group, according to the sources?
The sources described as a group known for engaging with people online to expose alleged predatory behavior.
And the alleged admission?
The reports state he allegedly admitted attempting to solicit sex from multiple minors.
That's extremely serious.
That is. And the sources go on to say that his smartphones were reportedly seized by the authorities during a home visit connected to this. But importantly, he hadn't been officially charged with anything at that point.
Not charged, but under investigation.
Correct. And those same reports within your sources noted that this LAPD investigation was apparently still active, still ongoing, at the time he passed away.
Okay. Now, just to be absolutely clear, because this is sensitive, we are relaying this information exactly as it appears in the sources you provided us, right?
Absolutely. That's crucial. We're presenting what these specific reports, citing the LA Times among others, contain. We're not adding anything. We're not taking a side. We're not offering commentary beyond what's in these sources. Our job here is just to convey the information that was given to us.
Understood. So the goal is simply to help you, the listener, understand the full scope of what's contained within these specific sources. And that includes both the public tributes, the career highlights, the warm personal stories.
And also these reports detailing a very serious and apparently unresolved investigation based on information from the LA Times reports included in our material.
It really shows how looking at multiple sources, different kinds of sources, can give you a much fuller picture. But sometimes that picture is complex, maybe even conflicting.
Definitely. It highlights the complexities involved when trying to understand, the totality of a public figure's life and legacy.
So let's try to wrap this up then, thinking about everything we've just gone through in this look at the Ed Gale sources for the DRM News Global podcast.
Okay. We've seen his really extensive career. Those breakout roles, Howard the Duck, Chucky, the physical performances that define those characters on screen for many.
And then that huge list of other credits, over 130 of them. Films like Spaceballs, Oh Brother, TV shows like Land of the Lost, My Name is Earl, just a real working character actor, plus his connection with fans at conventions.
And we also got that very different perspective from his niece. Those really personal, sometimes funny details. The fun uncle, the 7-Eleven hot dogs, DJing, cheating at cribbage. It paints a picture of the person behind the roles.
Right. But then alongside all of that, the sources you provided also include those reports, citing the LA Times, about the serious LAPD investigation he was reportedly under when he died, related to those very disturbing allegations involving minors.
And again, just to reiterate, we presented that information exactly as it was laid out in those specific sources provided to us, reporting only what was there.
So what this exploration of the sources really underscores is how different accounts give us different facets of a story. You have the celebrated career, the personal warmth from family.
And then you also have these very serious, unresolved allegations reported to news sources.
Yeah.
It creates a complex, maybe even contradictory overall picture.
Which leads us to a final thought, something for you to consider as you process all this information from